right, so example 4. Okay, we've got our last example question. So Leah wants to frame an oil original painted on canvas measuring 50 centimeters by 50 centimeters, or sorry, 50 centimeters by 60 centimeters. And then before framing, she places the painting on a rectangular mat so that a uniform strip of the mat shows on all sides of the painting. Notice how the X is equal distance, so it's perfectly centered. The area of the mat is twice the area of the painting. That's going to be very important moving forward here. Okay, area of the mat is twice the area of the painting. How wide is the strip of the mat exposed, showing all sides? So basically it's asking, hey, what's X in this case? All right, so we're going to go through and solve this to the nearest tenth of a centimeter. So I have the area of the mat is equal to, and then it says here it's twice the area of the painting, so 2 times the area of the painting. So area of the mat is equal to 2 multiplied by, and then the area of the painting, in this case, is 50 by 60, so it's 50 centimeters by 60 centimeters. So that means that the area of the mat equals 2 multiplied by 3,000 square centimeters, or the area of the mat is 6,000 square centimeters. So the whole area of that mat being 6,000 square centimeters. Now we know that area of the mat equals length times width. It's just a rectangle. Okay, the area of the mat is really then equal to, now if I were to look at the length here, okay, so let's say that this is our length and let's say this is our width. If I were to look at the length, I've got 2 x's, okay, adding right here and right here, so x plus 50. So it would make sense then to say 2x plus 50 could be a length. And using similar logic, I could say that I've got 2x plus 60 would be my width. So the area of the mat I actually know, right? I know the area of the mat here to be 6,000 centimeters, or square centimeters. So 6,000 square centimeters is 2x plus 50 and 2x plus 60. So now I've got a setup for an equation that I can solve for here that will help me kind of figure out what x is. So 6,000 equals, and we have 4x squared plus 120x plus 100x plus 3,000. 6,000 equals, and simplifying my terms here, looks like I've got 220x plus 3,000. Then if I move the 6,000 over to make this equal to 0, so I'm finding the intercept of the function of the equation, I would have 4x squared plus 220x minus 3,000, because it would be 3,000 minus 6,000. Now, once I have this set up, then it looks like I've got a quadratic equation that I can solve for here. So I then have my quadratic formula. X is equal to negative b plus or minus the root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. X is equal to, and then if I just go back and I look at my 3 variables here, a is 4, b is 220, and my c value here is 3,000. Now, I do see something in common here that I can do. Because they all end in 0 and they look like they could go into that 4, if I were to divide each of them by 4 here, let's take a look and see what this gives me. If I factor out a 4, then I'm left with x squared, I'm left with 55x, and I'm left with 750. That's actually a lot better to handle than my larger numbers that I had over here. So a is equal to 1, b is equal to 55, and c is equal to negative 750. Okay, I could certainly use the values on the left and it will work just the same just smaller values tend to be a little bit nicer to manage. So x is equal to negative 55 plus or minus the square root of 55 squared minus 4 times 1 times my c value, which was negative 750, over top of 2 times 1. So x is equal to negative 55 plus or minus the square root of 3025, 55 squared, plus, because I have a negative times a negative, 3000. So that works out kind of nice, over 2. X is equal to negative 55 plus or minus the square root of 6025. And so, over 2. And so x is equal to negative 55 plus or minus, and as an approximate value, 77.6209 over top of 2. So that gives me two potential answers here. I've got one answer for the plus root and one answer for the negative root. If I take the positive root and say negative 55 plus 77.6 divided by 2, then I get x equal to 11.3 centimeters. And if I take the negative root, negative 55 minus 77.6209 divided by 2, then I get x is equal to negative 66.31 centimeters. This value doesn't make sense because I can't have a negative length, so it would be extraneous. So that means that my value is 11.3 centimeters for the width of the mat going on all sides. Okay, so all along through here, I can see that I'd have to have about 11.3 centimeters. And then we can verify that moving down through here and going through the same steps. You can kind of see that we end up getting the same answer at the bottom. And then saying that we need to reject x is approximately negative 66.3 because it doesn't make sense with the question to have a negative built in there. Okay, so overall, we're basically on to our last section. So I do have some questions for you to work on after this. And if you have any questions at all, please let me know, and good luck.